Action hotspots are a special kind of hotspot that can be used to control other page objects such as page layers. An action hotspot contains the name of the object and one or more actions for the object to perform when the action is triggered. In this video, I'll show you how to build an action hotspot that triggers a tabbed reveal containing a vertical in-page slideshow. Let's take a look at the final result. In the video, we will create pages with fields that hold the tab's content. We'll create and export the tab content, and we'll apply hyperlinks to the tab buttons that will action the movement of the tab reveal on and off the page. Before I start building the objects, let's take a look at how our final file structure will look. This will give us a clearer understanding of how the elements and files fit together to create the final result. The basic folder structure for the hotspot tabs are as follows: 10 cover, 20 tab. Inside the 10 cover folder is a simple p1-1.pdf page that I'll use as the cover page for the presentation. Inside the 20 tab folder are two p1 pages, an object1 folder and a vips1 folder. The p1-1.pdf page contains the background image. The p1-2.pdf is blank, but has a field designated as a hyperlink object1. The vips1 folder contains a single s1-1.pdf that contains text and an image. The object1 folder contains 3 PDF files that make up a single page of 3 layers. These 3 layers make up the components of our tabbed panel. S1-1 is the background, and S1-2 and S1-3 are the 2 states of the tab button. That is our complete file structure for this example. Our background is a standard portrait page at 768 by 1024 pixels, built with graphics and text. I'll start by creating a new page that will be rendered as a layer above the background. I'll add a frame to hold the tab reveal artwork. The frame is 538 by 538 pixels and is offset at 724 pixels by 0 pixels. The 44 pixel overlay is where the button to activate the tab will be displayed. The movement of this frame will be managed by the action hotspot, and this will be its original position. The action will move it to the left to 238 by 0 pixels. In order to display our tabbed assets in this frame, I'll add a hyperlink to the frame to reference the folder containing those assets. With the frame active, I select New Hyperlink from the Hyperlink window, turn off Shared Hyperlink Destination, and we type in Object1. I'll create a new page that will hold the tab reveal assets. I want the page to match the size of the Object1 frame, so I select the Page tool, click on the new page, and define a new size as 538 by 538 pixels in the control panel. I'll add a frame 494 by 538 pixels and anchor it to the top right of the page. This will be the background of the vertical slideshow, and I'll fill it with a color from a swatch I've defined earlier. On top of this frame, I'll add another frame to display the vertical slideshow. I'll make it 494 by 503 pixels and offset it 69 by 17 pixels so that the right-hand side will be outside the frame and hide the vertical scroll bar from the final version. With the frame selected, I add a hyperlink and call it vips1. I need to add 2 buttons to show that you can open a tab and then close it. So I'll duplicate this page and remove the graphics and duplicate again. In the first page, I'll add the close button from the graphic I've already created. I'm adding this first because I want this button hidden under the open button. With the button selected, I'll add a hyperlink to it and call it action, layer 3, fade in, action, object1, position equals original. This action has the effect of fading in the layer to reveal the open button and moving the entire Object 1 frame back to its starting position. In the second page, I'll add the Open button, select it, and add the hyperlink Action, Layer 3, Fade Out, Action, Object 1, Position equals 243, semicolon 0. This action has the effect of fading out the layer to reveal the Close button and moving the entire Object 1 frame to the 243, 0 position. Our final asset is the text and information in the scrolling field, and I've built a page 494 by 1200 pixels containing the content. All I need to do now is to export our assets and test the page. I'll start by exporting the first page that contains the background. To export it, I use a predefined Adobe PDF export setting I've called iPad sRGB. I'll save it into the 20 tab folder and name it p1-1.pdf and set the correct range number. I'll do the same with the second page and call it p1-2.pdf, which will render as a layer over the background. I'll export the Tab Assets page into a folder called Object 1, and I'll name each of them S1-1, S1-2, and S1-3.pdf for slideshow, page 1, level 1, 2, 3, etc. will render this as a single asset with a set of layers. And finally, I'll export the vertical slideshow into a folder called VIPS1 and name it S1-1.pdf. I'll test the result using Box and iOS Simulator. Once it's installed, we can test it by tapping on the Open button, scrolling through the text, and close it by tapping on the Close button. Alternatively, you could simply zip up the folder and sideload it to the viewer on the iPad. You can think of an action hotspot as a kind of button. When the button is tapped, it will trigger the named object to perform the action. It does not have to look like a button, of course, as an action hotspot has no visual characteristics whatsoever, but is simply a defined region on a page layer. Any required visual element is provided by the actual underlying page content itself. So there's our tab reveal with a vertical in-page slideshow, built using a number of simple PDF files. You can download the InDesign and all files from our website at this URL.